God was like, you know what, Lathan, I want to use you to impact the world. Not just your city or not just your state or not just your town, but I want to use you to impact the world. And that's when he gave me the vision of glue, my whole brand of glue, which is God, love, and unity. It's just like bringing the world together, because that's what's going to hold the world together.
Welcome to the Jesus Storybook Bible Podcast, a place where we remind you that grace can rewrite any story, that hope shines a light through our darkest moments, and that God's love changes lives. Here's your host, New York Times bestselling author, Sally Lloyd Jones.
Hello, I'm Sally Lloyd Jones, author of the Jesus Storybook Bible, which tells the story of God's never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love. Welcome to the show. Sometimes we seem to get this idea about prayer that it's something we really need to try hard at, that we have to use these special long complicated words and an important voice. But did you know that there are lots of little prayers in the Bible? Prayers that really couldn't be any littler. Help, Lord. Lord, save me. I heard someone call these types of prayers arrow prayers. I love that idea, don't you? They're tiny prayers we quickly shoot up to God, anytime, anywhere, knowing that He hears them. Our guest today knows all about prayer, and arrow prayers in particular. He shares about the power of a praying grandmother, the powerful prayer he prayed during a near-death experience, when he wasn't sure he even believed in God, and how God answered that prayer and completely, radically changed his life, transforming tragedy into a beautiful ministry. Lathan Warlick, a welder by trade, signed his first record deal in August 2020. In September 2020, he released his single Over Yonder, featuring Matt Stell, which has racked up 1.2 million streams so far, and added to the over 5.5 million streams across his catalogue to date. I have his song My Way on endless repeat right now. One thing I love about Lathan's music, it completely defies labels. Lathan never set out to become a rapper or a collaborator with top country music artists, but that's where God led him. And as you will soon know, Lathan goes where God leads. When you hear from him, I think you'll be as inspired as I was to do as he does, to go wherever God leads you on the adventure he has for your life. Lathan is a light in a dark world. His motto is glue: God, love, and unity. He is filled with hope and joy and faith, and it's an honor to hear from him. Without further ado, please welcome my friend, and now yours, Lathan Warlick.
My name is Lathan Warlick, and what I do is I'm a positive artist. I like to encourage people through my music because I think it's enough negativity going on in the world. I like to bring positivity, encouraging, and uplifting music to people. I like to try to push like a lot of things that I know that God is teaching me and showing me through the music to help people, man, to encourage them in life. A tragic event that took place in my life, man, outside of a nightclub. I was a dancer before I was even an artist. Me and my guys, we decided to go do some dancing. So we wanted to celebrate this win that we did. We had a talent show and we won. So we wanted to go celebrate this win. We're just having a good time with dancing and doing what we do. You know, I didn't really know Jesus. I didn't really know God. I knew of him, but I didn't have that hardcore relationship with Christ. So as we sit in the club, man, I remember us looking at some guys, and these guys are just kind of staring us down. And these guys started walking up towards us, and they walked past one of my guys. They actually kind of stepped on his toe. And when they stepped on his toe, it's like they was doing stuff to kind of like start something. And I remember grabbing him. As soon as I grabbed him to kind of walk him out the door, like, oh man, this is going to be bad. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I felt like a hard push on my back. And when I turned around, it's like I seen the whole club fighting. It looked like almost like a bar fight, like bottles are being thrown, people are slinging chairs. And we're trying to gather everybody we came with to put them in cars and put them in so they can leave. I remember looking at these guys walking up and people around them scattering. Like a lot of people just started running. They took off running around them. I remember running around a building and I'm looking back, running and looking back. And as I'm looking back, I noticed that one of those guys had started chasing me. I remember the guy coming around with a 45 caliber pistol, like an all chrome gun. He just pulled out a gun to his side. And his buddy beside him was like, man, go ahead and shoot him. He was like, if you want to earn your stripes, man, go ahead and shoot him. When he picked up the gun and pointed it at my face, that's when reality hit. And I was like, dang, I'm finna die right here. I don't want my mama to see me on the news because I died behind the club. I don't want my grandmama or nobody in my family to see me as somebody going out like this. When my grandmama used to always preach to me about God and being safe, and she was praying for me and all this stuff, like all this stuff started clicking in my head. And another thing clicked in my head when this guy pointed the gun at me and his friend was telling him to shoot me and kill me. The first thing that came to my mind was when my grandmama said, if I was ever in a time of need, then just call on God. Like that was one of the first things that clicked in my mind. So as this guy got this gun pointed to my face and his friend is telling him to shoot me and telling him to kill me, I remember looking up and I asked God, I said, God, if you real like everybody say you are, just help me out of this situation. However that look, God, if you're real like everybody say you are, then can you just please help me out of this situation? And he pulled the trigger. But when he pulled the trigger, the gun clicked. Then after the gun clicked, his partner was like, man, you don't know what you're doing. So he took the gun out of his hand and he cocked it back. When he cocked the gun back, a bullet ejected out of the gun. And when it ejected out of the gun, he was drawing on it. He was drawing on me. Like he pulled the gun up because he was finna get ready to try to shoot me. And as soon as he picked the gun up, a car hit the corner. Like as soon as the car hit the corner, the lights flashed over. So when this car hit the corner, those lights were so bright that them guys was like, oh, snaps. Like, and they just took off running. I don't know what it was, but something powerful felt like it's just sitting on my shoulders. And as I'm weeping, and I turned around, I didn't even know I was crying so hard that my tears, it's like I couldn't hardly even see. So, cause I'm wiping my eyes and I started walking back to where I was standing at. And it's like, man, God led me to where I was standing. And when I looked down, when I finally got enough clarity in my eyes, I looked down and there was the bullet that the guy had ejected out of the gun. And I remember picking up this bullet like, dang, like this dude really did just pull the trigger. And on the back of the bullet, they had an indent on it to where the hammer hit the back of the bullet, but the lead didn't come off of the bullet. So I'm just sitting there holding the bullet like, oh man, like this is supposed to be in my head. You know what I mean? Like, or this is supposed to be in some part of my body. But it's like the Holy Spirit was literally ministering to me right there. I grew up in Jackson, Tennessee, a town an hour outside of Memphis, Tennessee. I grew up in like an urban community where it was a lot of poverty, a lot of gangs, a lot of violence going on. So I want to do something different in my neighborhood because I got tired of seeing so much poverty and so much of the same, like a repeated cycle of seeing a bunch of murderers and stuff like that. I didn't really know Jesus like that. I didn't really know God like that. But God, like, it's like he showed up even in my mess. He showed up even in my junk. He showed up even when I didn't even have it together. So that's why I'm 100% it's just running full-fledged ahead, trying to help encourage the world. It started with just my neighborhood, but then God was like, you know what, Lathan, it's cool that you're doing this, but I want to put somebody else in position because I want to use you to impact the world. Not just your city or not just your state or not just your town, but I want to use you to impact the world. And that's when he gave me the vision of glue, my whole brand of glue, which is God, love, and unity. It's just like bringing the world together because that's what's going to hold the world together. He transitioned me from just doing it to the people in my neighborhood and my hoods. Now it's like, okay, now I want you to bring the world together. And how I want you to do that is connecting with people that don't look like you. And that's when he opened up doors for the whole country lane. So you got a black guy on CMT Country Music Television. It was challenging because they doing music like a totally different way than I'm doing music. Coming from the hip hop side of things and then stepping into the country side of things and even the Christian side of things. It's like, dude, I knew I wanted to do music after that, and God showed me that way. God's timing is like the best timing. I mean, us as human beings, we all on rush mode. We like, man, I want to see results right now. I want to do this and I want to do that. But it's like, think about if I didn't wait on the Lord, or think about if things like that didn't happen in my life. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm at right now. Even my team now, it's like when they see stuff looking like it's going crazy, I'm like, hold up, y'all. Like, don't forget the purpose. Don't forget how we got here. Even though the storm looked like it's going to blow this whole ship over, don't forget that we worship somebody that can calm that storm that's going to blow this ship over. But we got to stand back and say, you know what? Dude, all of this stuff is in God's timing. If he brought me here, if he got you to it, he going to get you through it. So all of this stuff is definitely in God's timing. This is a passage from the Jesus Storybook Bible. They had seen Jesus go away, but now he was closer than he had ever been, inside their hearts. And this time, nothing could ever separate them. Jesus would always be there with them, loving them, whispering the promise that would get rid of the poison and the terrible lie and the sickness in their hearts. God's wonderful promise to them: you are my child and I love you. Even when something seems so big that I can't even get through, I'm reminded of that. I'm reminded of this: you are my child and I love you. Like that is like the highlight of my life, because you're gonna go through, it's called life. You're gonna go through trials and tribulations. But if you have that mindset to where it's just like, you are my child and I love you, if I can hear those whispers in my head, it's like I can get through anything in life. That's what makes it so amazing. Like, even that even resonate with my story. Like, I was down, I was bad, I was in my sin when Jesus came, and he said, hey, listen, you are my child and I love you. So since he said, you are my child and I love you, he wasn't letting nothing hurt me. He wasn't letting nothing hinder that, because I knew I had a purpose for my life. After that, I knew I had a purpose for my life.
You can get the Jesus Storybook Bible wherever books are sold. To find out more about the book and all of Sally's other books, please visit Sally at SallyLloyd-Jones.com and follow her on Instagram at Sally Lloyd Jones and at Jesus_Storybook_Bible.
Before we go, don't forget, God loves you with a never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love. Oh, hello, it's me again, Sally. I'm just popping back briefly to say two things. The first thing is, don't forget to subscribe to the show, because that way you'll get the stories straight to your phone. And the other thing is, while we're at it, would you rate the show and leave us a review? That would be so great, because it helps other people find the show too. I really appreciate your help. Thank you.